Hello there, YouTube, and man, I think I speak for everybody when I say, oh, the zoo. Can we all be thankful for the people who looked at animals one day and said, you know what would sell money? Depression. Yeah, lock these bad boys up and sell a few tickets for people to see them, and then they'll flock in droves to see these things stuck in a cage with nowhere to go and be sad. Every tear is a new dollar. Ooh, I like this idea. And over time, we were able to port it over for humans. We call them retirement homes. This is where the badoomts would, come in, but my drummer's late today. I guess my joke kind of fell flat on its face anyway. There's nothing really funny about a wild old man in his room screaming at the wall, and then there's someone else's grandma being force-fed her pills, just like they do to the baby elephants at the zoo. Same rules apply, don't tap the glass or else they'll fling whatever just came out of their body right at your head. Either way, this is Top 5 Best, and on today's list, I'm counting down 10 most shocking moments caught at the zoo. For this list, I blackmailed every single zoo I could find in the country under my son's name, saying that if they didn't give me the details I was looking for, I was going to expose them for all that they really were. Some replied, a lot of them didn't, and now there's an arrest warrant out for my son, and I can't wait to tell the cops where he's hiding. Now before I get started, don't forget to drop a like on this video, and hit subscribe so that way you can keep up with all of our daily videos. Also, we try to respond to everybody in the comments, so if you know of an even more shocking moment caught at the zoo, or if you want to come up with some more crimes we can accuse my son of just to beef up his charges, then let me know down below. With all that said and done, I'm your ever-lovely narrator, Gentleman T-Rex. Let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Okay, kids are inherently stupid. So stupid, sometimes that they can almost get their entire family killed. Like when my daughter jokingly once said on an airplane that she was going to hijack it in front of the air marshal. Case in point, starting off our list is a child beating its chest in front of some silverback gorillas at a zoo. See, what we have here is a kid who saw something in a movie once and decided to act it out in real life, since she must have been disappointed that what was in front of her wasn't King Kong, but rather his watered-down real-life counterpart. That being his cousin Citizen Kong, who does his taxes, works for his family, and brings home all the bananas he needs for his family. Thank you, Citizen Kong. You're an example to us all. So, this impossibly smart child starts beating her chest to assert dominance in front of these things that not even Joe Rogan can take down, and lo and friggin' behold, one of the gorillas decides to flex back by running up and jumping into the glass window, meant to keep her and her family safe. Except that, the glass broke immediately, but still stayed in place long enough for her dad to let a comical woo! Since clearly he's an idiot too, and then they all straight out of there. Probably a good idea, guys. Number 9. Jambo the Rescuing Gorilla. See, stupid humans give apes a bad rep, but sometimes the animals can naturally become PR tools for their species and paint them in a positive light. Case in point, Jambo the gorilla, who ran up and kept a watchful eye over a 5-year-old little boy who had fallen down into the gorilla pit and was knocked unconscious. Jambo made sure that no one gorilla got near the child, and when rescuers came, the ape knew what to do and ran away to let the humans save one of their own. I just hope that kid was grounded for pulling off a stunt like that. No video games for one weekend at the very least. Also being locked in the basement. Number 8. Binky the polar bear. You see, back in 1994, a woman who was an idiot decided to shake hands with danger by jumping over 2 safety rails at the Anchorage, Alaska Zoo, the place where every captive African animal dreams go to die. The woman wanted a real close-up photo of the animal, and Binky, who probably had it up to here with the fact that his name was Binky the polar bear, stuck his head out right through his cage and casually grabbed the woman and proceeded to try and teach her a lesson about not following the safety rules. As Binky no doubt ranted about the good safeties of zoos, passerbys quickly jumped to her aid, smashing the bear with tree limbs and such before Binky felt the lesson had been taught and he let her go. I can only hope that when this woman was in recovery, her doctors let her know of such a thing called a zoom lens for her camera. Only you can prevent yourself from dying via Binky. Number 7. And what's going to be a continuing trend you'll keep noticing on this list, people are not smart. When in a zoo or around wild animals, sometimes it can cost them their lives or worst, insane medical bills. I mean, trust me, after you see how much you gotta pay, you're gonna wanna be dead. And that's why number 7 is here. It tells the tale of 2 ladies at a Beijing wild park who were attacked by a tiger. See, the thing with wild parks is that the animals roam free, and you're meant to be enclosed away from them in your car. There are no real cages or electrical fences, and it's what Jurassic Park would have been if John Hammond had drank whiskey during his design phases for it. Mr. Hammond, sir, I think that's a little irresponsible. I'm the one with the money, you're the one who makes the park. Bad accent aside, I think I actually just described the entire plot of Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. So why a woman would put her car into park, get out, walk to the other side, and open up for some other woman only to be attacked and dragged away by a tiger is beyond me. Like, what possibly was going on in that car that she had to do that right then and there?
Oh my god, Becky, I gotta go get a selfie with this tiger. He's just fierce looking.
Number 6. Now, in what sounds suspiciously like a scene out of a kids movie starring Kevin James and Cuba Gooding Jr. that's got 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, a couple of security guards at an Israeli safari zoo fell asleep when they were supposed to be keeping an eye on 3 female rhinoceroses that escaped their enclosure. And yes, security cam footage exists, showing the guards chasing after the rhinos in what I can only assume was in some sort of goofy cartoon fashion, and it's not like they were chasing down 3 chickens that ran away. No, these were fully blown rhinos. Rhinoceros, rhinoceros, the things that the Punisher uses in his game to impale a bad guy with. What was their plan when they caught out to them? Scold them and put them on a leash? Well, someone clearly did something as the rhinos were rounded up and brought back to the safari, only to escape once again to the parking lot. So, either you fire your security guards or maybe actually build an enclosure that can keep these wild horde animals safe from stupid humans. Number 5. In 2009, some woman at the Berlin Zoo decided to jump into the water where they keep the polar bears. I mean, because why not?
Oh dear God, Binky's gonna teach you this lesson again, I'm gonna kick some butt!
You see, things started to go real wacko for her when, shockingly enough, the polar bears started to attack and low-key eat her when they took chomps at her arms and legs. What? Polar bears wouldn't do that?
Polar bears are just the nicest creatures, though.
Much to the disappointment of everyone watching, zoo officials came to the rescue and were able to shoo the bears away from the woman and pull her up to safety. Oh, well, that sucks. Zoos are always boring. When something like that falls into your lap, you milk that entertainment for all it's worth, brother. Number 4. If you want to really impress your family, then just smoke some meth and jump on down to your local zoo's lion den like number 4 on our list did. At the Taipei, Taiwan Zoo, 46-year-old Jiang Ho Chen was high off his mind on amphetamines when he jumped into the zoo's lion den and began waving his jacket around in front of the lions. And mind you, their home was just now invaded. Don't worry, this story goes just like you imagine it would, with Chen getting mauled by the lions until the zoo officials had to blast them with tranks and water hoses to drag his tweaked out body away from them. Now, thankfully, the lions didn't take any damage while Chen suffered some serious bite marks. Reason number 678 not to do meth. It'll make you think you're the lion whisperer. Or the lion, wrestler. It's probably just a bad idea in general. Number 3. The Muskingum County Animal Farm. Now here's a slight departure from the rest of the other entries on this list. See, when you have wild animals, ones that don't come from the part of the world you live in, you typically put them in a zoo. Not the case for Terry Thompson of Zanesville, Ohio, and his own private zoo. Terry loved collecting exotic animals, especially the ones that could go easily rip your throat out if you smiled at them for too long. Terry was also a Vietnam War veteran, whose life leading up to why he's earned the number 3 spot out here on this list hadn't gone in his favor. You see, his wife had left him, he held anti-government radical ideologies, and shockingly enough, he was in debt due to the purchasing and care of his wild African animals. And so one day, Terry had enough, sad to say, and he took his own life. However, that was before he decided to casually set free all of his little lions, tigers, and bears. In a way, maybe he wanted them to be free and be afforded a better life, but we know now that Terry wasn't in the right place mentally, as he clearly didn't factor in that these animals weren't in Africa. They were in the middle of Ohio, in a town aptly named Zanesville. And while we here at Top 5 Vest do wish the story had a happy ending, okay, I'm just gonna rip that band-aid off right now. It doesn't. See, exotic animals roaming free in a developed society is generally bad for business, as evidenced in the documentary film Jumanji. Now, 1 or 2 being set free is generally low-level panic mode, but Thompson set free 56 of his animals, with the police having to kill dozens of them. This included, amongst others, 18 tigers, 6 black bears, 2 wolves, 3 mountain lions, and a 3-legged giraffe. I mean, which, if you're a giraffe and you only have 3 legs, how can you technically escape out of a cage is beyond me, but whoever shot you was doing you a favor. While some of the other animals were scooped up and sent to the Columbus Zoo, one of the monkeys Thompson owned got chowed down by a tiger, and another monkey he owned, which had herpes simplex virus, was never found by authorities. That's comforting to know, that out in the Midwest there roams this monkey carrying a virus. I'm pretty sure that's how every post-apocalyptic pandemic movie ever starts off. Number 2. Harambee. Oh, if anybody asks how 2016 went, just say this word and they'll get it instantly. Everyone's either favorite or not favorite meme of 2016 started off when a 3-year-old little boy visiting the Cincinnati Zoo fell into the moat of the Gorilla World habitat. Or maybe he was pushed, we'll never know. Anyways, things quickly turned into what would have made for a cool 90s Fox TV special narrated by the same guy who did the voiceover in World's Wildest Police videos when the 17-year-old ape Harambee decided to climb down into the moat the kid fell into to see the new thing in his home was. He then decided to make a plaything out of the kid, shoving and dragging him around the moat. It was a hot day, he was just doing the kid a solid and cooling him off. Naturally, the zoo officials started to enter panic mode when they realized Harambee wasn't going to let the kid go anytime soon. Especially when Harambee carried the kid up a ladder, out of the moat and onto dry land. Now, they first considered using a trank dart, but that takes too long to kick in and who knows, if it didn't work the ape might get a little annoyed and this story could have taken a very dark turn. Well, darker than it already is, because we all know how this ends. But since we live in a different timeline, we got the happy ending of Harambee getting shot and killed over some kid whose stupid parents lost sight of him when he decided to become a little Jane Goodall. Like, is the kid going to remember any of this, and is anyone going to hold some resentment towards him when he gets older? I mean, I wouldn't say anything because I for one don't want to be known as the dude who got Harambee killed. Either way, I'm sure that Gorilla World is gonna stick with this kid. It's gonna be really awkward when he goes and he has to meet Harambee in heaven, though.
I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works.
Number 1. If you have kids around and you hate them, be sure to grab them so they can see our number 1 pick. In what feels like a scene straight out of a Jurassic Park movie, some Chinese zookeepers decided to feed their tigers a full-size donkey for Din Din. 'Cause, you know, zoos everywhere else in the world haven't developed a humane and cruel-free method to feed their carnivores yet. And it's not like they kill the thing first and dump it into the tiger pit, because who's got time for that? No, they just put it on a wooden slide and scoot it on down to its gruesome death of being bit and prodded and drowned by tigers. It's one thing when this happens in nature, it's another when some disgruntled Chinese Shrek fans who really hated Eddie Murphy's performance decide to vent by feeding a whole donkey to their tigers. At the very least, they could have done this casual act of animal cruelty when the zoo was closed and no visitors were around. Oh, but give people what they want. Traumatizing family memories and another excuse to go see their therapist. Thanks a lot, China. And that's our list for today, everybody. Like I always say, if you did make it this far, make sure to hit us up in the comments below, as we always try to respond. Say what's up, even. Also, don't forget to drop a like down below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everybody.